Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are talking about one of the most talked about and mysterious coins in American history, the 1979 D Washington quarter dollar. This coin has captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters all around the world, and rumors say that one of these quarters is worth as much as $1.4 million. So what makes this ordinary-looking coin so special? Why do people believe it could be hiding a fortune in plain sight? Stay tuned, because we are breaking down the full story, the history, the design, the minting details, and the truth about its value. Rarest coins. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design was created by sculptor John Flanagan, and it became one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history. By 1979, the Washington quarter was already a familiar face in every American's pocket. The obverse of the coin shows the left-facing portrait of George Washington with the words "Liberty" at the top, the phrase "In God We Trust" on the left side, and the year 1979 at the bottom. To the right of Washington's ponytail is the letter D, which stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular coin was produced. The reverse design features the majestic bald eagle perched on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath, symbolizing both strength and peace. The 1979 D Washington quarter is made of copper and nickel layered over a pure copper core. It weighs about 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters in total. The Denver Mint struck nearly 490 million of these coins, making it one of the most common quarters of the decade. So with so many made, how can one of them possibly be worth over $1 million? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and error. Most 1979 D quarters are worth only their face value, just 25 cents. Even in slightly better condition, they may sell for around $1 or $2. But when you find a coin that has something truly unique about it, like a minting error, an exceptional condition, or a special variety, it can skyrocket in value. Some quarters have sold for thousands of dollars at auctions because of the smallest differences, like a double die mint mark, a missing clad layer, or a perfectly struck coin with full details and mirror, like luster. For example, a 1979 D Washington quarter graded at mint state 67 or higher can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coins that are virtually flawless with no scratches, no wear, and full original shine are extremely rare, since most coins entered circulation right away. One of the highest recorded sales was a 1979 D quarter that sold for over $5,000 because of its pristine condition and perfect strike. This proves that condition plays a massive role in determining value. So, where does the $1 million story come from? Over time, certain coins get surrounded by myths and viral claims across the internet. Some videos and articles mention a 1979 D quarter supposedly worth $1.4 million. In reality, there is no confirmed record of such a sale, but that doesn't mean collectors aren't hunting for a version of this coin that could someday be worth that much. Imagine finding a unique mint error, like a double strike, a wrong planchet, or a quarter with an unusual metal composition. Those types of extreme errors have made coins from other years sell for hundreds of thousands of dollars in major auctions. If one day a 1979 D quarter with a never-before-seen error surfaces, it could easily become one of the most valuable quarters ever. If you have a 1979 D quarter at home, here's what you can do. First, examine it carefully. Look at the mint mark under good light. Check both sides for anything unusual: off-center strikes, missing letters, strange color or texture, or even a misaligned die. Next, check its condition. If it still has its original shine with no wear on Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers, it could be uncirculated and worth grading. You can send it to professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, who will officially verify its authenticity and condition. Finally, compare your coin with known varieties and auction results. Sometimes, even the smallest detail can mean a huge difference in value. In short, while the average 1979 D Washington quarter isn't going to make you rich, there are rare examples that could be worth a small fortune. The excitement and mystery around this coin remind us why coin collecting is so fascinating. Every coin carries a story, a piece of history, and sometimes a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Whether your quarter is worth a few cents or a few $1,000s, it connects you to a long tradition of American craftsmanship and history. So, the next time you get change back from a store, take a closer look at your quarters. Who knows, maybe that 1979 D coin in your hand isn't just 25 cents. Maybe it's the one rare error that could change your life. Forever thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1979 D Washington quarter, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video about rare coins and their hidden values. Let me know in the comments what rare coins you've found or are searching for. And until next time, happy collecting and good luck, treasure hunters. Welcome back to the channel, Coin Collectors and Treasure Hunters. Today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins in United States history, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. This coin might look ordinary to most people, but some collectors believe that a few rare examples of it could be worth an unbelievable amount of money, up to $1.9 million. In this video, we are going to explore the history of the 1966 quarter, its design, the story behind why it was made, and what makes certain versions of it so valuable. So grab your magnifying glass and get ready, because we are diving deep into the incredible world of the 1966 Washington quarter. Rarest coins. Let's start with a bit of history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features a portrait of the first president on the front side, also known as the obverse, and the majestic bald eagle on the reverse side. The series ran for decades with only minor design adjustments, but the year 1966 was a major turning point in American coinage history, and here's why. Just a few years earlier, in 1965, the United States Mint stopped using silver in its dimes and quarters because the price of silver had skyrocketed. People were hoarding silver coins, and the government faced a coin shortage. To solve that problem, the Mint changed the composition of coins starting in 1965. So, by 1966, the Washington quarter was no longer made of 90% silver. It was instead made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, with an inner core of pure copper and outer layers made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. That's the same basic makeup used for quarters today. Because of that big change, the 1966 quarter is part of a short transitional period in U.S. coin history. No mint mark was used on coins that year, which means you won't find a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco on a genuine 1966 quarter. They were all struck at the main mint in Philadelphia that year. The mint produced more than 821 million quarters, so on the surface, it might seem like there's nothing rare or special about them. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1966 quarters are known for special characteristics that make them extremely valuable. Collectors have found examples with striking errors and unique minting varieties. These include off-center strikes, double dies, and even quarters struck on silver planchets left over from 1964 and 1965 silver production. Those rare transitional errors are the ones that can bring massive prices at auction. Imagine a regular copper-nickel coin selling for just 25 cents and a rare error version from the same year selling for thousands or even millions of dollars. That's the magic of coin collecting. Let's talk about real numbers. Most circulated 1966 quarters, meaning the ones that have been used in everyday transactions, are worth only face value. But if you have a coin in exceptional condition, known as mint state or proof-like condition, it could be worth much more. Uncirculated 1966 quarters can bring anywhere from $10 to $50 depending on their grade. But if you happen to have a rare mint error or a transitional silver strike, that's where the value skyrockets. Some examples have sold at auctions for several $1,000s. And certain rumored pieces are said to have reached values as high as $1.9 million, though that figure isn't officially confirmed. The possibility of a one-of-a-kind mint error from that year makes the hunt for these coins incredibly exciting. So, what should you look for if you have a 1966 Washington quarter? First, check the color and edges of the coin. If the edge has a solid silver tone instead of the usual copper streak, it could be one of the rare silver planchet errors. Next, look for any doubling on the letters or numbers that could indicate a doubled die variety. Also examine the strike itself. If the details on Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers are unusually sharp, it could be a special high-quality strike. Finally, weigh your coin. A normal 1966 quarter should weigh around 5.67 grams, but a silver planchet version would weigh closer to 6.2 grams. If you find one like that, you might be holding something extremely valuable. One of the most talked about stories in the coin collecting world is about a rare 1966 Washington quarter that was reportedly struck on a leftover silver planchet and later graded in near-perfect condition by a professional grading company. This coin is rumored to have been valued at over $1 million because of its historical significance and incredible rarity. Even though these types of sales are rare and not always officially documented, they remind collectors that treasures can still be hiding in plain sight. So if you're going through your change or looking through old coin rolls, don't ignore those 1966 quarters. Even though most of them are common, there's always a chance that one might be special. Check for those errors, check for the silver edge, and check for any unusual features. Sometimes the smallest difference can mean the biggest reward, and that's what makes coin collecting so exciting. To sum it all up, the 1966 Washington quarter represents an important moment in U.S. mint history. When America transitioned away from silver coinage, most examples are common, but a few rare varieties and minting errors have made this coin famous among collectors and sparked stories of incredible value, including that legendary $1.9 million claim. Whether that figure is fact or myth, one thing is certain: the 1966 quarter is a coin that keeps collectors searching, hoping, and dreaming of finding that once-in-a-lifetime treasure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story and value of the 1966 Washington quarter, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss our next video about rare and valuable coins. Leave a comment below and tell us if you've ever found a rare quarter in your change or what coin you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your next coin hunt uncover a hidden fortune. Welcome back, everyone, to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most interesting and talked about coins in United States history, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar. This coin looks just like an ordinary quarter that you might find in your pocket, but behind its simple appearance, there is a story full of change, history, and mystery. Some collectors claim that certain rare examples of the 1967 Washington quarter could be worth as much as $1.8 million. In this video, we are going to explore the history of this coin, its design, how it came to be, and what makes some of them so valuable. Rarest coins. Let's start from the beginning. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design was created by John Flanagan, and it became one of the most iconic coins in American history. On the front of the coin, known as the obverse, you'll see the left-facing portrait of George Washington with the word liberty at the top, the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left, and the date 1967 at the bottom. On the reverse side is the American bald eagle standing proudly on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath, representing both strength and peace. Now, let's talk about what makes the year 1967 so special in coin history. During the mid-1960s, the United States Mint faced a major coin shortage because people were hoarding coins made of silver. In 1965, the Mint decided to remove silver from dimes and quarters and replace it with a new copper-nickel composition. This was a huge change for American money, and it carried over into the 1967 Washington quarter. This coin is made of a copper core with layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel on the outside, weighing about 5.67 grams and measuring 24.3 millimeters in diameter. During this time, the Mint was working hard to get coins back into circulation, and because of that, they did not put mint marks on coins in 1965, 1966, or 1967, so you won't see a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco on a 1967 quarter. All of them look like they were minted in Philadelphia, even though they were actually struck at multiple facilities across the country. In total, the Mint produced more than 1.5 billion Washington quarters in 1967, making it one of the highest mintage years ever. With such a massive number of coins made, you might wonder, how could any of them be worth millions? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and errors. While most 1967 quarters are worth only 25 cents, there are some rare examples that have unique features or minting mistakes that make them extremely valuable coins. With striking errors like double die obverse off-center strikes or quarters struck on leftover silver planchets from earlier years are among the most valuable examples. Some of these rare pieces have sold for thousands and even tens of thousands of dollars at major auctions. One of the most famous and talked about stories is about a 1967 Washington quarter that was allegedly struck on a 90% silver planchet left over from 1964, when silver coins were still being produced. This coin reportedly surfaced in near-perfect condition, with full details mirror-like luster and sharp edges, and collectors believe it could be worth more than $1.8 million because of its rarity and historical importance. While such a sale hasn't been officially confirmed, the possibility of a one-of-a-kind 1967 silver quarter has sparked excitement among coin Enthusiasts all over the world, if you have a 1967 quarter at home, there are a few things you should check to see if it might be worth more than face value. First, examine the color of the coin. If the edge shows a pure silver tone instead of the usual copper stripe, it might be one of those rare silver planchet errors. Second, weigh the coin on a precise scale. A normal 1967 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, but a silver one would be closer to 6.25 grams. Third, check for doubling on the letters or numbers such as Liberty or the date 1967. And fourth, look at the overall condition. If your coin still has its original shine and shows no signs of wear, you could have an uncirculated or mint state coin, which could be worth much more. In addition to regular mint strikes, there were also special mint set coins produced in 1967 since the government temporarily suspended proof sets. These special mint set or SMS coins were made with better striking quality and have a beautiful satin finish. They were not released into circulation and can be found in collector sets today. Depending on condition, they can be worth from $10 to over $100. But a perfect example, with deep cameo contrast and flawless surfaces, can bring in several $1,000s at auction. So, while most 1967 Washington quarters are common coins that you'll still find in circulation today, there are always rare exceptions that surprise collectors. The thrill of discovering a valuable mint error or transitional coin is what keeps people searching and collecting to this day. The 1967 quarter represents an important turning point in American coinage, marking the shift from silver to modern materials, and it reminds us that even ordinary change can hold extraordinary history. To sum it all up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar is a fascinating coin from a time of major change in the U.S. Mint. Most are worth only their face value, but rare examples with unique errors, perfect condition, or unusual composition can be worth hundreds, thousands, and according to some reports, even up to $1.8 million. The key is to look carefully, because the difference between an ordinary quarter and a once-in-a-lifetime treasure can be just a small detail invisible to the untrained. I thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed learning about the 1967 Washington quarter, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos about rare and valuable coins. Let me know in the comments what rare coins you found or what coin you'd like me to talk about next. And as always, keep checking your change, because you never know when you might find a coin worth a fortune. Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most talked about modern quarters in the United States, the 1998 Washington quarter dollar. This coin may look like the same ordinary quarter that you see every day, but some rare versions of it have sparked huge excitement among collectors across the country. In fact, there are stories and rumors about certain 1998 quarters being worth as much as $1.3 million. So today we're going to explore the full story behind this coin, its history, its design, and what makes a few of them so valuable. Let's start with the background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. The design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, has become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage history. On the front or obverse of the coin, you'll see the left-facing portrait of George Washington, the word Liberty above the phrase "In God We Trust" to the left, and the year 1998 at the bottom. On the right side of Washington's ponytail, you'll notice a small letter P. This mint mark stands for the Philadelphia Mint, which produced hundreds of millions of these coins that year. In 1998, the Washington quarter was nearing the end of an era, because the following year, in 1999, the United States Mint would begin the legendary state quarters program, which featured a different design for each of the 50 states that made the 1998 quarter the last full year of the classic eagle reverse design, which had been used since 1932. On the reverse of the 1998 quarter, you'll see a proud bald eagle with wings spread, standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches beneath, representing both strength and peace. The inscriptions read "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and quarter dollar. Now, let's talk about the composition and the minting details. The 1998 Washington quarter is made of a copper core with an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it that silver-colored appearance. It weighs about 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The Philadelphia Mint struck more than 896 million quarters in 1998, which means it's a common coin that you can still find in circulation today. But as always in the world of coin collecting, rarity is not just about how many were made, it's about how many were made with something unusual. Some 1998 P Washington quarters are known for rare minting errors and special varieties. These are the coins that make collectors' hearts race. Certain examples have been discovered with double die obverse, where the letters or numbers show a doubling effect. Others have been found with off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even a few struck on experimental planchets that were not meant for the quarter at all. There are reports of 1998 quarters accidentally struck on planchets meant for other denominations or test materials used by the mint for upcoming state quarters. Those types of errors are extremely rare and can sell for thousands and sometimes even hundreds of thousands of dollars at major auctions. One of the most talked about examples is the rumored 1998 P Washington quarter struck on a 90% silver planchet, a leftover blank from an earlier minting batch. This kind of transitional error is incredibly rare because by 1998 the mint had not used silver for regular quarters in over 3 decades. If a genuine silver planchet error from that year were ever authenticated, it could easily be worth a life-changing amount, potentially reaching that famous $1.3 million figure. Collectors and experts say that if such a coin exists, it would be one of the most valuable modern quarters ever discovered. So, how can you tell if you have a valuable 1998 P Washington quarter? First, look closely at the mint mark. Make sure it has the letter P. Next, check for any doubling on the lettering Liberty or In God We Trust. Also examine the edges of the coin. A regular copper nickel-clad quarter will have a visible copper-colored band along the edge. If you have one that looks solid silver with no visible copper line, that could be a sign of a minting error. Next, weigh the coin. A normal 1998 quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams, but a silver planchet error would weigh closer to 6.25 grams. Even that small difference could mean a huge difference in value. Finally, inspect the strike. If the details on Washington's hair or the eagle's feathers look sharper or more defined than usual, it could be a special die variety or a high-quality proof like strike. In terms of value, here's what collectors have seen. Most circulated 1998 P quarters are worth only 25 cents, but an uncirculated mint state coin can be worth from $1 to $10, depending on condition. High-grade examples, graded MS-67 or MS-68, have sold for hundreds and sometimes over $1,000 at auctions. Error coins and rare planchet varieties, however, can bring in thousands of dollars, and in extraordinary cases possibly more. If a unique, one-of-a-kind silver or experimental planchet version were to appear, it could easily break records. So even though most 1998 P Washington quarters are common coins that you'll find in your pocket, change. The excitement comes from knowing that somewhere out there could be a special error or rare variety worth a fortune. That's what makes coin collecting so exciting. Every coin tells a story, every year holds a mystery, and sometimes even the most ordinary-looking coin can change your life. To sum it all up, the 1998 P Washington quarter marks the end of the classic eagle reverse design. Before the state quarter era began, it's a coin that combines history, beauty, and modern minting. And while most examples are worth only their face value, rare error coins have sold for incredible amounts, and one rumored example is believed to be worth as much as $1.3 million. Whether that number is fact or legend, it reminds collectors to keep searching and to look carefully, because treasures still exist in everyday change. Thanks for watching and joining me on this journey into the story of the 1998 P Washington quarter. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another video about rare and valuable coins. Let me know in the comments what rare coins you found or what coin you'd like me to talk about next. And as always, keep checking your change, because you never know when you might find the next $1 million quarter. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the 1984 D Washington quarter dollar, a coin that looks just like the change in your pocket, but has captured the imagination of collectors all over the world because of rumors that one rare version of this coin could be worth as much as $1.5 million. In this video, we will uncover the true history of the 1984 D Washington quarter, what makes it special, how much it can actually be worth, and why collectors are still hunting for rare examples that could be hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the history. The Washington quarter series began in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin was designed by sculptor John Flanagan, and it became one of the longest-running and most recognized designs in United States coinage by 1984. The quarter had already been a part of American life for more than 50 years. The obverse of the coin features the famous left-facing portrait of George Washington. The word liberty is inscribed above his head. The motto, "In God We Trust," appears on the left, and the date 1984 is shown at the bottom. To the right of Washington's ponytail is a small letter D, which stands for the Denver Mint, where this particular coin was produced. The reverse design shows a proud bald eagle with wings spread standing on a bundle of arrows with olive branches underneath, symbolizing both the nation's strength and desire for peace. Around the edge you'll see the inscriptions United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar. This design remained unchanged until 1999, when the state quarters program began making the 1984 D one of the later examples of the classic eagle reverse design. Now, let's talk about its composition and production. The 1984 D Washington quarter is made of a copper core with outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving it a silver-colored appearance. It weighs about 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. The Denver Mint produced over 546 million of these coins in 1984, which makes it a common coin by mintage numbers. However, in coin collecting, rarity isn't always about how many were made. It's about how many were made with something unusual or how many have survived in perfect condition. That's where the excitement begins. Some 1984 D quarters have been found with rare minting errors and unique varieties that make them extremely valuable. Examples include double die obverse, where the letters or numbers appear slightly doubled off center, strikes where the design is misaligned, and even coins struck on the wrong planchet. Sometimes a quarter was accidentally struck on a blank mint for another coin like a nickel or a foreign denomination. These mistakes can dramatically increase a coin's value, depending on the type and how well it was preserved. There are also reports of a few 1984 D quarters that may have been struck on leftover silver planchets from special mint sets or test strikes. These transitional errors are incredibly rare, and if one of these coins were to be confirmed today, it could be worth a fortune, possibly reaching that $1.5 million mark that has been talked about in the coin collecting community. While that exact sale has never been officially documented, the possibility of such a discovery keeps collectors searching through old rolls and change jars every day. So, how do you know if your 1984 D quarter might be valuable? First, look at the mint mark. Make sure it has the letter D for Denver. Then examine the coin carefully under good lighting. Look for any signs of doubling, especially on the word liberty, the date, or "In God We Trust." Check if the design looks off-center or if the edge of the coin appears unusually thick or thin. These could indicate striking errors. Next, examine the edge. If the coin appears to have a solid silver edge with no visible copper band, it could mean it was struck on a silver planchet. Finally, weigh your coin. A normal 1984 quarter should weigh 5.67 grams, but if it weighs closer to 6.25 grams, you may have something very special in terms of value. Most circulated 1984 D quarters are worth only their face value of 25 cents. Even nice, uncirculated examples usually sell for $1 to $5. However, when you move into the higher grades, the value increases dramatically. Quarters graded MS-66 or MS-67 by professional grading services can sell for hundreds and sometimes over $1,000. And if the coin has a major minting error, the price can reach tens of thousands. In the rare event that a one-of-a-kind silver or transitional planchet error from 1984 were found and authenticated, it could easily be valued in the hundreds of thousands or even that rumored $1.5 million. The key is condition and rarity. The cleaner, sharper, and more flawless your coin looks, the higher the grade and the higher the value. Uncirculated coins with full mint luster and no scratches or wear are always worth more, and if you find one with a clear striking error, it's worth getting it professionally graded by a trusted company like PCGS or NGC. That certification can make a massive difference when it comes time to sell. The 1984 D Washington quarter tells an incredible story of American minting during a time when the United States was producing billions of coins every year. Yet even in such a huge mintage, there's always the chance that a rare mistake or unique variety slipped through. That's what keeps coin collectors searching and why this coin remains one of the most talked about modern quarters in circulation today. So, to sum it all up, the 1984 D Washington quarter is a common coin with an uncommon legacy. It represents a piece of American history, a reminder of the artistry of John Flanagan design, and a symbol of how even ordinary coins can become extraordinary treasures under the right circumstances. While most are worth only a few cents, some rare examples with minting errors or exceptional quality can be worth thousands, and in the case of an extremely rare silver planchet error, possibly even that legendary $1.5 million. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video about the 1984 D Washington quarter, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into rare and valuable coins. Share in the comments if you've ever found a 1984 D quarter or any rare coin in your change, and what you'd like us to talk about next. Keep checking your pockets and coin jars, because you never know when you might be holding a hidden treasure worth a fortune.